Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. I'm very excited for this review with Joretta and Tay, and we are talking about episode 419, the episode before the season finale, Murder Was the Case. Hope you enjoy this episode, and warning, we do talk about some sensitive topics, just so you know. Okay, awesome. So number one, happy to have both Tay and Joretta on the pod. Joretta, this is your second time on the pod. Tay, this is your first time. Yes. And look, y'all live tweets be hilarious. That's all I'll say. Literally so awesome. So let's start off with Tay first. What did you think about the episode overall?
So I really thought it was a cute episode. It was better than what I expected, because at first when I seen like the promo pictures and I didn't see them in Halloween costumes, I was like, oh my gosh, it's not going to give anything. I thought it was going to be a little boring, but I really liked the whole storyline with JJ getting them all together, and I feel like he spilled on everything that he said, and the ending just took me away. So overall I think it was good.
Yeah, I love that. How about you, Joretta?
I thought it was good. I like the murder. I always love a murder mystery. And I like that JJ was the head of everything, because I always feel like he gets overlooked. And I like the issues that were going on. And yeah, that ending was crazy.
It was wild. It was a lot.
I could not process nothing.
Not after everything that had just happened 2 seconds prior. Literally. It was a lot. But I'm gonna say this. I also enjoyed the episode, but specifically enjoyed the Halloween party-ness of the episode, and not the Crenshaw high school hallway situation. And I actually thought it was a pretty good episode, like, for doing doing a Halloween episode in May. I think they pulled it off, and I was like kind of shocked, low-key. But it gave a vibe. They had little jump scares. It was giving.
Yeah, I was shocked at the opening.
Literally, yeah, right. No. And I knew it was going to be, we'll get to that in a second, but I knew it was going to be Jordan back on his horror ways. But South Crenshaw, Halloween, whatever it was, Vandal. Okay, I'm going to try to speed this up. But principal vote coming up. Grace tells Billy, you have to stop the vandal. Woo! Billy bribes Preach with a mini fridge to help him do this stakeout for the vandal. People running around the hallways. Billy's not sure what he's seeing. Turns out it's Amina. The writer's poking a little fun at all of the people saying that Amina is scary. Was kind of funny. Maybe the only thing I appreciated about that. But long story short, Grace tells Billy that Carter asked her to move to Oakland. He pretends that he didn't know. And then he's just like, oh, so are you gonna do double duty with being my dean of student affairs, blah blah blah. And she's just like, I don't know if I'm gonna accept the job, but you won the principal vote, and blah 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 blah. The janitor, the creepy guy, was the vandal. So that was that. What did y'all think of that?
First off, I think, and I don't know if y'all seen my tweets earlier, I always say I feel like Billy's gonna end up coming clean about his feelings for Grace, and he's gonna mess stuff up.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm telling y'all, watch. And Grace is gonna be like, somebody really tweeted earlier, says probably what's gonna happen. Grace is gonna be like, no, I don't feel that way, and then he just gonna act like it never happened and go home to Laura and act like everything is cool. Like, he's been emotionally cheating on her since season 1. Like, everything about Billy is just nasty.
He is. And look, everything you're speaking is facts. I just don't think that the writers are gonna acknowledge it.
That's true.
Because it's so, I feel like
I
feel like they should have in the past, because it would have been a great opportunity to give the adults more nuance. But because they're so far into the series, I don't even know if they're going to even bother with it now. But it would be cool to shake it up.
But why do y'all think that I feel like it got to be a reason for him not telling her that he already knew? And that's why I feel like something is going to... True.
Billy's just trash. Like, that's just, he only cares about himself.
Last season,
Like, I don't...
last season, I thought that Grace might have feelings for Billy, so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely thought she was gonna be the
Something.
one.
I just feel like
That's
something
true.
in this story not done.
We could see. We'll talk about that when we get to predictions. But yeah, it was the adult storyline was like, it was not giving what it gave in, what was it, last season, After Hours, when they were like out drinking and stuff. Like, it was not giving that. And I was just, every single time they flashed to the hallway, I was just like, I will like get violent. Like, I don't care about this story. Like, get us back to the Halloween party where all the drama is. Like, I do not care about this story. Not right now, at least. So let's talk about that Halloween party. JJ was planning to have this Halloween party, in which, by the way, blame JJ for them having no costumes. It's a murder mystery, and JJ ended up having it at the baker's house because it's, you know, Switzerland, basically. And it was because of, which we'll get to that in a second, but Spencer and Asher's drama, mostly. But he did this whole thing where it was just like a future version of JJ is murdered, like 10 years into the future or something. They stopped being friends 8 years in the future, so something happened within those 2 years or something. And it ended up basically just being, he got them to play, it was like props, there was a boa involved for Layla, there was just like glasses, and it was a whole script, and he just had them running around looking for clues, and after all of that, it was just that he said, everybody's taking the friendship for granted, nobody values this friendship, and we're gonna fall apart and drift apart because nobody values this friendship. And they were like, boo! Boo! Embarrassing! But he really tried. So what did y'all think about JJ putting that whole thing together, the whole idea of having a party, just to give basically commentary to his friends about their deteriorating friendship?
I thought it was cute. I feel like, and my best friend said it, that was something I would do. Like, I thought it was really fun, and he wasn't lying. Like, I think it was a fun way to really acknowledge his real feelings, because they really were growing apart, and I feel like they really don't have a lot of stuff in common like that anymore. If they all didn't like live together and go to school, they probably wouldn't be friends, and I feel like they all was just ignoring that.
I feel like it was good, and like he said, he values the friendship more than them, because he's always he's the positive one in the group, and a bunch of negative nillies, and it be making me mad because it's like, who's there for JJ? Yeah. There's nobody ever there for JJ, and I keep being so concerned about him. And like he said all this, and they still just kind of brushed over it. It's like, does nobody else see JJ as borderline suicidal?
I really thought that was going to be the cause, but I was just like, that would be so odd to do on this. Like, I know there's a lot of drama and a lot of tension, so I felt like having JJ of the future commit suicide would be like over, like piling on. And so I honestly thought that was going to be it, and then it was like, oh, I died because the friendship was over.
Because like I thought that was interesting. They seem to really mean a lot to him. I wish we would have got more into his background, because it doesn't seem like he has family, so he really latches onto them. So I wish we would have knew more about him.
And it seems like even after he said all that, they just went on like, oh, okay,
exactly,
that's JJ. Yeah. He just cares about his friends.
I hated it.
And then, all right, back to us.
Thankfully, at the end, Asher came back round. It was just like, we love JJ. He's our best friend. Claps for JJ.
That's probably the closest person to him, isn't it?
So.
Asher.
Yeah, I think so. Especially because like everyone else is like so embedded in I think Crenshaw now, or like just or like with the Bakers, that like Asher and JJ are still sort of kind of outsiders. They're not, but they kind of are still. if that makes sense. But I did appreciate the storyline. Number one, I appreciated it because it's hard to get all of these characters in one room because they go to different schools and they have different things going on. And so the fact that JJ did this thing to give commentary on the friendship, because I feel like the whole second half of the season has been about changes. So I was just like, okay, writers, I see you. My little scriptwriter nerd came out, and I was just like, I see you with doing this little fancy murder mystery thing to have JJ give, like, basically tell what he's been feeling to his friends and get them to sort out all of their mess and sort out mess that he didn't even know about. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool way to do that. And I actually did appreciate now, because one of my critiques with JJ's storyline in particular is, like, when he is serious, it seems to come out of nowhere. Like, because he is the party guy, it always seems to be like, oh, all of a sudden he's trying to be serious now. But I didn't feel that way in this episode. I don't know. And I feel like he earned his seriousness in this episode, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciated it. One of the relationships that was impacted, that started before the party, but Coop and Patience. Coop's over here making breakfast. Coop over here got a job with Laura, is excited for depositions and stuff, and Patience is impressed. And she's just like, where's this new Coop been? Like, why haven't I seen this new Coop? And, you know, is Sky coming to the party? And they talked about Coop and Sky doing these corny couples costumes. But basically, Coop was super into the game. She actually got Asher to come to that party. So Coop was for the party. I didn't realize how for the party Coop was, but Coop was for the party. And she took it really seriously and took their boundaries really seriously. Sky didn't end up coming because it was at the baker's house. And she was super close to figuring out who murdered JJ. But at the end of all of that, Patience kisses Coop. And they make out for a little bit until obviously the big ending. But I'm gonna share my thoughts on this first. It's too soon. That's all I have to say. It's too soon for them to get back together.
I felt like it was about time, because Patience has been jealous for a couple of episodes now, trying to act like she wasn't. And how many times have we seen that ex that suddenly gets better in life after they broke up with us or we broke up with them? So I felt her when she was feeling some type of way about Coop all of a sudden being her best self, not that they ain't together no more. So I was glad she finally said something.
I feel how you feel too. I just feel like you just said, it was about time, because I feel like Patience, you wasn't over Coop. Like, you knew you wasn't going nowhere. I just also feel bad for Coop, because I feel like she really do like Sky, and I feel like her and Patience issues aren't going to be resolved, and I feel like they're going to be back arguing again once Coop goes back to being how Coop normally is. So it's kind of like, I'm 50-50 on it, because I feel like they're going to be endgame anyway. So I feel like, why not just let them get back together? But...
Well, and see, I think that's why I'm just like, it's too soon, because I do think that they are in game. And for them, and I guess I'm looking at, this is more towards the writers than anything else, is that their relationship lasted longer than it should in this season. Like, they should have broke up, like, by the time 407 happened. And they didn't even break up until, like, 3 episodes ago. So really, like, they have not been broken up that long for this whole long dragged out, like, Patience being annoyed with Coop. And so I was just like, and I understand the point about Patience really not even trying to break up in the first place and not really, like, moving on and et cetera, but I don't know, I just
that's why I say I feel 50-50, because it was because I feel like their problems haven't, resolved, but it was the heat of the moment. But then I also just feel like y'all was going to be back together. Like, y'all both were jealous and making all these rules, and you living with your ex. It was bound to happen anyway.
True, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. And I actually do have some, we're talking about Sky, I do have some predictions, because we'll talk about it when we get there, but yeah, I think this was a slip up mainly, and they did get interrupted, so that'll be interesting when we head to predictions. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Spencer and Asher being petty, they're still doing this whole separation of church and state thing, but it's really like JJ and Jordan don't care. Like Jordan is like, this is still happening. Like Spencer and Ashley the only ones who care about this, and like I said, JJ basically planned this whole party to get them to be friends again. Like I said, Coop invited Asher. I loved the lines that we got, because I think that this build up between Spencer and Asher has been building since season 1, and like no one has said anything about it. So I really appreciated when Asher said, like, calling Spencer and I family is a stretch. Because I was like, you're right. You're absolutely correct. But obviously they both end up going to this party. One of the clues was that Spencer comes to play for Asher at some point, and he was like, well, I want to be traded. And then that just leads them into Asher being like, you can't turn on and off a friendship, and you slut shamed, and that's why you don't have a girl now. I was just like, okay. I was just like, interesting. And then like I just thought it was hilarious because JJ kept being like, can we take this to the living room? Like, this is actually critical and pivotal. Yeah. So we need to take this to the, can y'all restart and can we run this back? But what did y'all think about Spencer and Asher's fight? Did it live up to your expectations? And then like, what did you think about it?
No. Absolutely not. So one, I think everything Spencer said, he was 100% right, because first of all, now granted, yes, he did take your girlfriends. That is true. That is what happened. It was wrong. Your girlfriends owed you more loyalty than Spencer did, so you can't really hold that against them. And it's like Spencer said, like, they wouldn't be so easy to take if you wasn't treating them like crap. What you was, you cheated on Layla and you treated Olivia terrible. Like, so that was bound to happen for one. Then for two, like Spencer said, I didn't steal your spot. I took it.
Say it again. Say it again.
It wasn't okay. It wasn't nothing. I didn't sneak around and I was better than you, and I took the spot. That, like, what do you expect? This is football, so that was going to happen. You gotta get over that. That was high school. You gotta let that go. I do feel like, but it was also true, and what Asher said as well about, you know, Asher's always the villain, and you know Spencer is the hero. But it's like, Asher, I'm sorry, it's a lot of times. You are the cause of things.
He do got a point though.
Like, I'm like, well, like, so I didn't understand. I mean, I understood where he was coming from, but it was just like, I mean, well, you just started being like a good person, and I think, honestly, I think Spencer was really hurt because of what he read on the computer on Asher's laptop, because I think he was really starting to let Asher in and trust him, because Asher was acting like, you know, a nice guy and everything was normal. But I also feel like at the end of the day, y'all had all these issues unresolved. Spencer, how much did you think you could trust him? Like, he hated you since high school, and y'all just sharing, you know, mutual friends, and you're dating his girlfriend, and y'all in love. Like, you in love with Olivia. Like, this ain't no how it was with Layla. Like, you bringing her around the beach house, setting up candles. Yeah, I'm not really, no. So, I honestly thought it could have went a little worse, but that's my take on it.
And I want to add some stuff, but what did you think, Joretta, about that?
I thought it was a standard argument between boys. My only thing is, I wish Asher would stop reminding, like, every 2 episodes, it's you stole my girlfriend. I'm like, if you don't build a bridge and get over it by now. Because,
literally,
seriously, they didn't want you, and you were not a good fit for them in the first place. And then, like, not to be insensitive, he keep on blaming people for stealing his spots, but it's like, blame your heart, okay? That ain't got nothing to do with me. So,
blame your heart! Y'all going in on Asher.
Oh
as
my
he deserves.
Like, no disrespect, but
Like,
it ain't my fault. You can't keep making me feel bad.
that got double meaning too. That got double meaning too.
That was definitely a bar. Okay,
that hit me deep, bruh. I'm hurt by that. I'm
both
hurt
hearts,
for him.
physically and emotionally. Sorry, Cody.
Sorry, Cody.
Sheesh.
No, I know. No, I will say I expected it to revolve a little bit more around the actual thing that they were arguing about at the time. And then it became about Layla and Olivia. And I was just like, okay. And then I was like low-key a little upset because I was just like, okay, Asher, you should have hit him back with what happened in Vegas. Like, But I don't think Asher knows, to be honest. I don't think he knows the full story. But it would have been great if he hit him back with Vegas just because it would up the little, Asher was just taking L after L in that argument. And so it's just like, y'all gotta give the man a fighting chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny simply for the fact that JJ kept being like, can we have this in the middle of the room? Can we run this back? And obviously, though, at the end of it, and after JJ's whole murder mystery announcement thing, they were just like, we are family. We are. So what did you think about them actually being family, according to them?
I get what the writers are trying to do. It's normal in a teen drama where it's like the group of friends and they go through all that and they're like, we're friends. I never got friend vibes from Spencer and Asher, so feeling like we're family, I'm like, when did this happen? Did I miss the episode? Right. I know we're all living together and it's cool, but family, I feel like that was like a stretch. I feel like I don't see the family thing, especially because they really still never got to the root of why they were arguing. Like, they just got to the stuff that happened in season 1. Y'all not even at what y'all currently are arguing about, because at the end of the day, y'all still got to go home together, and Asher's still going to be putting in his, like, y'all rivals. So,
they seem like associates.
What does this mean?
Right.
Yeah,
I was going to say, they're like acquaintances. They're acquaintances at this point. And they're on friendly terms. I would say. But would I call them friends? Would I call them family? I don't know. But I did want to say to this point, I don't think Asher has directly done anything to Spencer since season 1, if I'm remembering correctly. So I just would have wished that they had brought more of that out, because again, Asher was taking L after L, as he should, but I was just like, y'all gotta at least make it seem like it's like a fight. A fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. One of Asher's ex-girlfriends, Layla. As we mentioned before, Jordan was in his horror phase, and Layla has just been used to basically just talking to Jordan all the time. And so he's been avoiding her. She comes to visit him. It's just like, why didn't you answer my calls? Why didn't you answer my texts? And he's just being a jerk to her, and avoiding her. They go to the party. He is a jerk to her again. But let's talk about the first part of that. What did y'all think about Jordan being a jerk just in the beginning there?
Yeah, first off, I was like, hold on. I wasn't expecting it, but then I felt kind of bad for Layla, but I was like, oh, okay, I get it. He's kind of doing her how she was doing him. Was that this season or last season? This season been so long. This season. I feel like it was earlier this season. But so I was like, okay, he's kind of giving it back to her, and I was kind of happy they kind of had some angst, and it was kind of realistic. Like, he just got his relationship with Simone. He's obviously hurt, and it kind of, not saying it was Layla's fault, but I figured, okay, he's probably taking that out on her because he feels like she's to blame. So I was a little shocked, but I got it.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree with that.
What about you, Joretta?
Yeah, I would agree.
You agree?
Because I'm always I'm always in favor of somebody snapping on Layla, so Have fun.
Not coming for my girl now.
I was about to say that. What Layla did?
Exactly. Now, Layla, like, now why am I in it? I done did my apology tour.
Okay.
I done did my apology tour and everything. Now why am I in it? No, I was just like, between that and Jordan bringing Tessa or whatever her name was to the party, I was just like, Layla taking L after L. Layla is taking L after L today.
Oh my gosh.
And happy every single time. And happy at the beginning of every single one of those reactions, except for the one. But I always thought when Jordan came out the gate being a jerk, I was just like, he's like avoiding his feelings. That's what I thought at the beginning. Ended up being true. It ended up being true. And so, like I said, Layla had a little jealous moment when the date came and left. But, you know, then she goes to get this clue, and they have a little conversation for the first time, and as he's helping her with this clue, and she's just like, so are you going to tell me, you know, about the hot date and why, you know, you're trying to prove a point by sleeping with, you know, all the girls in LA? And he's just like, don't try to psychoanalyze me. It was giving 306, but in reverse.
Yes.
So what did y'all think about that interaction?
I was like, hold up, Jordan. All right, not too much on her. Calm down. When I seen that, I said, now I'm about to really get my girl together. He was coming for it. And I was just like, I was just shocked. And I was like, oh, come on, Jordan. And I didn't know, like, I was like, I kind of get him, though, because it's like, he's angry right now.
You did, though.
I just didn't know how far it was going to go, so I'm kind of happy. Like, I mean, she, you know, so I'm like, I didn't know how far it was going to go, and I was like, you know what? Luckily, Layla has became, you know, back to her normal self again, because I was like, she about to go left, and I thought she was going to really, like, dig in him, and then it was just going to be, like, I didn't know how it was going to go.
Bruh, I thought she should have. I said slap him. No, not slap him. But I was
That's what I. But I think she knew, like, okay, he's in his. I think she knew, like, okay, he's in his feelings. All right, yeah. He got that.
They're mirrors of each other. This was literally mirrored from 306.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So she was very gentle with him, even though she wasn't happy about it. But what did you think about that, Joretta?
Yeah, I felt like he was doing it because he was in denial and, like you said, trying to keep her at bay from what he was experiencing. I'm just glad that she didn't hold it against him later.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree. But that's what I mean is just like every single time, just coming with a clean slate for this man. My girl is down bad. That's all I gotta say. But after he goes off on her a little bit in that the psychoanalyzing thing, you could see that every single time she walked away, that he was just like, "Ugh, I hate myself." And we saw that after the end of the psychoanalyzing scene. So the next time he comes up to her, and you know, they have another honest conversation because they're generally just so honest with each other, and she's just like, come on, Jordan, like, tell me the truth. Like, why have you been ghosting me? Why have you been avoiding me? And don't say, finishes the sentence, don't say, like, I know you've been busy because of football, but, like, what's the real reason? And she's just like, oh, you blame me, sort of what we were talking about earlier, you blame me for your breakup with Simone. He said he didn't, and then she said, does she? And I said, Layla asking the questions we want to know. Asking the questions that we want to know. So why did she ask him that question in particular?
I think she picked up on it.
Did she?
Yeah.
Got it.
One, Simone caught them and was looking like, did I interrupt something? And then when Simone, when Layla asked Simone, could she borrow Jordan? And she's like, you don't need my permission. And she's like, okay. And then now they breaking up. Is something going on. And then the simple fact that y'all broke up and you're not talking to me, maybe it's about me. So I definitely think she picked up on it.
Yeah, she was doing some deductive reasoning on that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't even think about that. That's true. That's fair. That is good. Because, that is correct. Because I know that she definitely noticed Simone's, you don't have to ask my permission. Like, that was rough. So putting two and two together, because he's been avoiding her and thinking that, she is the cause of their breakup, which, to be fair, she was a bit of the cause. But again, he comes back to her later, and we get the confession. Number one, before we even get into it, were you expecting this to happen in this episode?
No.
Absolutely not.
I was not
you just thought
it.
Did you expect it to happen in the next episode, or did you think it was going to be like a season 5 thing?
I thought it would be like you go first.
Oh, I was expecting something. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something this season, but not too big. Like, maybe another cute little moment. Like at the end of the last episode when they was like at the football field. I was expecting more little looks, little flirts, but no confession till next season. I was not expecting it. Mm-mm.
You said a little tease here and there.
Yeah, I was definitely not.
Yeah, I thought they would get like they flirt on, and then maybe in the finale, they would be like, then he would just confess it to her, and then the show just goes off, and everybody be talking for the rest of the time until the show came back on. Because I could see that being like a big moment. They would leave fans talking, but they kind of just dropped it in there. Yeah. So
I'm gonna say, right. I think my official prediction was, like, I think there's going to be a big moment. So I knew something huge was going to happen, but I did not think that he was going to share his feelings, or at least I didn't know specifically that he was going to share his feelings. I thought it was going to be like a kiss or an almost kiss or something, but I just knew something big was going to happen, but I wasn't sure what. But yeah, this took me by surprise. And I was actually like, okay, writers, being bold with the choices. Here we go. Having him confess in this episode. And so what he said, again, to that point of her asking, like, was it because of her that they broke up? Or did Simone feel a certain way about her? And, he came back to her, and also to her point about him trying to prove a point that he was over his breakup with Simone. He came back and said, you were right, but it's not, I wasn't sleeping with all of these girls because of my breakup with Simone and trying to prove a point there. I was trying to prove a point that basically that because Simone saw something between us, that she was wrong. And she was just like, well, did you tell her that we were friends? And this man said, yes, I lied.
The jaw went on the floor, child. My jaw's still on the floor. I'm sorry.
The audacity of this man to just straight up be like, yes, I lied.
And I really thought he was just about to say yeah, and then they would be like, I'm sorry, and continue on. He said, I lied. I said, hold up. Hold on. What?
I was like, yeah. And the thing is, it's like, it shouldn't have shocked me, because again, mini plug for my little spec script situation. I was like, they're super, super honest with each other, so it didn't shock me in one sense, but I was just like surprised that the writers wrote it. But yeah, when he said I lied, I was just like, and I, ooh. Okay, Okay, Jordan. Okay, let's do this. Let's go.
Okay.
And she starts to say something, and he cuts her off, and he's just like, look, I have feelings for you, Layla, and despite my best efforts these past couple weeks, can't make them go away, and I don't want to anymore.
A man.
Because I think that you feel the same way.
And we all cheered.
And we all cheered.
I could not. Like, when I tell y'all, I'm telling y'all, like, my jaw is I still cannot believe. I said.
So confident. He was taking notes in the studio in 416.
Come on now.
He said, okay, grow a pair? Check.
And who was left speechless? Not Miss Groshair. She ain't had nothing to say. She ain't have nothing to say.
Somebody on Twitter they were like, yo, she thought she gagged him, let alone, nope, he just took her advice.
He said, oh, okay.
Laid all them cards out.
Right at the end. What's next?
All the cards. And here's the thing that's crazy about it. Or there's a couple things. And because I love Joretta, I'm about to go into all of them. The one thing is that, like, number one, he was so confident and so calm when he was saying all of this. And, you know, I actually went back and looked at when he talked to Simone or whatever, when he shared his feelings with Simone. Number one, when he talked to Simone, he was just like, oh, I'm in love with you. And that was, like, right away when he was telling her his feelings. And he was just like, I don't know if you feel the same and blah, 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 blah. But the confidence in which he was just like, and I think you feel the same way. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
That to you earlier. That is true.
So that was one thing. The other thing was the fact that, you know, she was sitting in the same spot. She was sitting in the same spot that she was sitting in when her dad told her to, like, open up her heart. Which I thought was really cool as well. And then the fact that she had nothing to say. Nothing to say after that.
Speechless.
So what did y'all think about that? And what did you there's the whole idea, this debate going on about whether or not it was too soon. What do y'all think?
I definitely think it was too soon because they had just broken up a couple of episodes ago, and Simone's still over here mourning that missed out on her other man because she in mourning, and Jordan just get the moves on.
Simone over here flirting with David.
She definitely wasn't there laughing last night.
But
Simone over here talking about oh yeah, there's always been something between you and I, David. Kidding. I'm joking. Sorry. Go ahead, Jordan.
And so, as a Jamone fan, I would just felt like it was too soon. But then I could see it from Joretta fans side, who felt like they was finally being fed because, like, I remember since season 1, there were fans who wanted them together. I think I wanted them together at one point, but I think back then I was just agenda shipping because I really wanted Olivia. But
agenda shipping.
But I do think it was a little bit too soon. But it's like they broke up. It's time to move on. So just go ahead with it. I'm with it. Go ahead. So it's cool.
Okay. So, Jordan's confidence rubbed you the right way. You were like, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm dead. But I was just about to say, I seen the debate too about it being too soon. The only reason why I don't think that it was too soon, because I don't think, of course, even though that, like, the whole scene was like everything, I think for them, like him telling her, like, okay, yeah, I do have feelings for you, I don't think he was kind of saying it to say, like, okay, I have feelings for you, now let's start a relationship, be together. Like, I don't think that's the beginning for them. I think it was more so, it's kind of showing a maturity side of Jordan in a way of, okay, I know, I was just ending out all this time with going back to his relationship with Simone. He thought, they could do the long distance thing, and it really wasn't working, but he tried to, hold on to that. And during that time, his feelings started to change for Layla.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just because Simone wasn't there, but I think it was just more so they kind of were going through the same things at the same time. And you know how you know somebody for a long time, and then you just start looking at them a little different, like, you know what, maybe it could be more, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that he was just like, you know what, I'm sleeping with all these girls, this is not going to work. And it was just like we all been saying, like, Spencer's so open with each other. For real, like, he was like, look, I'm going to bring this girl in, I'm going to bring that girl in. And he like, I'm still over here making pouty eyes at Layla.
Right.
It's not going anywhere.
And let me find out she liked me too? Nah, this not going to work.
And he like, you know what? And I'm going to prove Simone wrong and watch. And I'm going to sleep with all these girls, and I'm not even going to be worried about Layla. As soon as she pop up at my house, I'm making puppy dog eyes at her. Like, you like her. And I think he just was like, you know what? He just wanted to tell her, like, this is what happened. This is why I'm doing this. It's not because of Simone. I'm not pushing you away because I had feelings for you. I think you feel the same way. Boom. Like, I don't really think it was too soon. I think they needed to have the conversation instead of kind of being in denial. But I was still shocked, though.
Yeah, I was still... Again, I give the writers their props because I think that was a bold choice. And I think it followed up with the storyline. And here's why I don't think it was too soon. To that point, he said, I have feelings for you. He wasn't like, I'm in love with you, right? He just said, I have feelings for you. He wasn't like, let's hop into a relationship. Any of that. He didn't like go to kiss her or anything. He just said, I have feelings for you. Like, just getting it out in the open. And they have been setting this up since 401 and prior, but at least since 401, at the latest. And so this has been 19 episodes of build up for them. And to that point, I think it's that for Jamone, I know some folks weren't happy with how their relationship ended, but I really looked at the ending of their relationship like they were both on like autopilot in their relationship, and they had checked out a while ago. So it's not strange for me to see Jordan coming to this realization so quickly. It's not strange for me to see Simone finally admitting that there was something with Damon, is because they were like, the only thing holding them back was because they were both holding on to this relationship that they both knew just wasn't working anymore. And that's what they talked about last week. So anyway, for that, and because they've been building this up since 401, I was like, I don't think it's too soon. And to that point, I don't think this is where the conversation ends. I think it's just the beginning. And we did not, I mean, the Layla was too stunned to speak. The Layla was too stunned to speak.
I don't blame her.
I would have folded. I'm not gonna lie. I would have folded right then.
Right?
Well, wait. When you think about it, she really ain't even have time to fold anyway.
She did not. Let's get to that, because she did not have time. She did not have time to fold. I promise we're gonna get there. Liv in the article. Liv been getting sketchy calls.
My sister.
I know. Down bad. Liv been getting sketchy calls. We finally see Crystal again, and Crystal has a full marketing push for this NIL article that she wasn't even a fan of at first. But then Liv pulls out because she was just like, all this is putting a strain on my relationship and it's too explosive. It was just interesting that the writers had her say that this episode, is what I'll say on that. But anyway, she does a different article, and it's supposed to be about trick-or-treating. They have that little joke. I love that little scene with Patience and Coop and Spencer, and then talking about candy corn, and Spencer be like, I miss you, I know. But again, she's been working on this article. Basically, the future her was supposed to be like a workaholic or something, so she leaves the party to go work on this article, and she tells Spencer that she's doing a different one because she doesn't want it to impact him. And they get into their first ever like face-to-face fight ever. And he gets upset because he's just like, I know you're not gonna resent me for something that hasn't even happened and something that I didn't ask you to do. So I want to pause there and like, what did you think just with the little hints of Liv sort of giving up on this article for the reason of, not wanting it to impact her relationship, her trying to do this new one and then eventually working on it at the Halloween party, leading her to tell Spencer that she dropped the NIL thing for them.
I felt like I get it. She really just does not want to do anything to cause Spencer any type of harm. But I think that she needs to, just listen to what he's telling her, that, that it's fine. Like, even if you feel like it may hurt me, like, we can handle it from there. Like, he supports her. And I think that eventually, but I keep forgetting, that they're young, because I'm like, eventually, Liv, it's going to be an article that you're going to have to write that will be about football that could still mean harm to Spencer in the future. So you just got to get over that, first time. So I really don't think she should have gave up the article. I think she should have kept doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think she should have gave up the article either, because I feel like they're not going to take her serious if she keeps doing stuff like this, because she doesn't want to impact her relationship. She has to learn how to break the two worlds apart, so where it's business over here and the relationship with Spencer over here, and make sure that they don't affect each other.
Right. And to be fair, I was really a bit confused because it happened all at the same time, but in a nutshell, they were just like, we don't want to go to bed mad at each other, so we need to talk about this. Obviously they had to wait for JJ's whole party to be done, so they went down or whatever. Then they had another conversation where she said that, I thought this line was super, super interesting, and I want to know your thoughts before we get to like the article, but like, you make me doubt myself, Spencer. Thought that line was interesting, and she ended up saying like that the article was about masking and pretending, and obviously their conversation got interrupted by the SWAT team, which was crazy. But what did you think about, like, you make me doubt myself in this article being about masking? What did you think? And pretending?
Honestly, I can't even say, because I was really confused. I'm still confused about what she meant by that, because I really don't see where Spencer has shown her to doubt herself. So I really can't say how I feel about it, because I don't know. Hopefully they'll finish the conversation next episode. But I don't see where he's made her doubt herself. I feel like she's just kind of in her own head, and she just thinks that if she does, the article, and if it does end up being trouble for him, then maybe it will be trouble for their relationship. But, he hasn't done anything but support her, so I really didn't understand that line prior to say time.
Yeah, I think it came out of left field. I think it came out of left field too, except for the one time I could think about is when she was so set on Wade being a bad guy, but Spencer made it seem like, oh no, he's cool, and then she kind of dropped her intuition. I feel like that's going to come back later when they realize that Wade isn't a good guy, like she was originally right about him. So I guess that would be the only way that I could think about when she felt like Spencer made her doubt herself. But that seemed like that line came too soon, if that was the case.
Yeah. I agree. I was confused about the line. I was just confused, I think, in general. And because Spencer has been shown to be really supportive and hasn't, there was a thing a couple episodes ago where she was just like, I feel like you've changed. And look, I'm gonna defend Liv to the ends of the earth. Okay, Liv is my favorite. And so the one thing I can hang my hat on, because I'm just not clear where the writers are going with this, the one thing I can hang my hat on is the fact that she said, and here's where I think if she had a point to be made, this is the one. Did you even read my article? Like, just that line alone. Because he is very supportive in the sense that it's just like, we don't have to agree all the time. We don't have to like the same things. but when it comes to her work, you know, I feel like they've been dropping little hints here and there that it's just like, whatever. There's a running joke that he'll shut the laptop and at one point it's going to delete one of her articles or something. And so that is the only thing, to Joretta's point about, like, what you just said, and, like, maybe doubting her intuition about Wade, to the only thing that I think would make sense is if they go along the lines of this, like, I don't know if it's, like, not taking my work seriously, but just, like, being casual about the work that she does. But then again, I feel like it was muddied with this whole we're pretending thing that they talked about. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just left confused. And just like, I know they...
yeah.
Don't have my girl live in the trenches.
I said,
don't have my girl live in the trenches.
But I do get that part what you just brought up about him not reading the article. That is kind of like, you know, you support me, but are you? But I think that's something that they can have a conversation about. I still don't think. But maybe that is just one of the hints. I still don't think he really should make that. Will make her doubt herself. But
right, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like they left it. They should have just left it at, "Did you even read my article?" Not the doubting yourself, not the pretending. But look, we'll understand it better by and by.
Right.
Hopefully, we get some answers in the finale. We'll talk about that in the prediction. Last thing, of course, the SWAT. I have nothing to say about the SWAT team coming in. I mean, I think it's Wade. Obviously, whatever the crank calls that she was getting. So Wade has something to do with the SWAT team, but I was just, what is this? That was my reaction. So what did y'all think of the SWAT team?
I said, what is going on? First off, I was mad because I was getting my Joretta and then I was getting my Olivia because I was thrown off by what Olivia said. So I'm like, huh? And I'm waiting for Spencer to, you know, say something. I mean, I'm waiting for Olivia to answer Spencer's question, and then we got the SWAT team.
Right.
Like, what is this?
What is going on? The office meeting.
Literally. I said, come on. I said, who? And I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah.
I forgot about the prank call. I said, what Coop done did? I said,
Not Coop. No, Coop was upstairs. She did say, if there was a call out to her, she was just like, it wasn't me. That was a call out. That was a foreshadowing. She was like, it wasn't me.
I'm sorry. I said, what? I said, I know this ain't about none of that Tyrone stuff. Like, what is going on?
Oh
like,
my gosh, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
I was so mad, y'all understand? Because I was like, what? Because I was like, it was like I was happy with Jordan and Layla's conversation, and then I was just so confused by Spencer and Olivia. So my mind was not. I'm like, what in the hell is this? Like, I was all over the place. I said, all right, of course, this is how it ends.
No, but same, because I was happy, but I was also just like, I know we didn't just jump cut and not get her, or not leave that, like, I felt that they left that conversation between Jordan and Layla at a really weird place. The next thing we know, they're just like smiling in the corridor, clapping for JJ, and I'm like, were y'all sitting in silence for 30 seconds while Spencer and Olivia talked?
Right. What's going on? Did y'all? So, Layla, do you have the feelings or not? What is the real
literally?
And Olivia, who's masking their
she
stuff,
does.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
I was so mad. I was like, I swear, I'm done with her. And she brought some stuff to the Baker house. I was so. But then I was like, oh, duh. Yeah, that's definitely weird. But at first, I swear, I was like, it was just not. My mind was not on that yet. So.
Yeah. Joretta, any thoughts before we move to a prediction?
For a split second, I thought it was JJ because he was still smiling while they was tackling his ass to the ground. So I'm like, JJ, why are you still smiling? You better not be doing this to black folks. But then it was like, oh no, so he... Because we don't play by the cards like that.
Oh
so I'm like,
God.
No, for real, that is true.
No. It is very true. It is very, and I was so like when Olivia was just like, Spencer, it's not. This is real. This is real. Get on the floor. I was just like, ooh, I feel it. I was just like, not another trauma. No, but yeah, I feel like this is. a good point to switch to predictions. Thanks for listening to Film Study, an All-American podcast, and stay tuned for our predictions.